Hey everybody, this is Grace. I'm on my way to sit outside and see if I ever get any offers anymore. Actually, at this point, I'm going out there just to be out of the house and to chill, you know, not have anybody want anything from me or, you know, something go on. Just sit out there and chill, lower my blood pressure, that kind of thing. And then every once in a while, you know, I might take one and go and deliver it because it's saturated right now with all the educators and the students 18 and older, wherever they're going. Could be high school and up, you know. But, uh-oh. Boy, it's busy all of a sudden right here. Oh my. And you watch the person across the street is going to want to go forward ahead of me. That's not happening. So, anyway, this has always been a lovely, lovely road to go down. They need to fix it. So, they did all this work out here for a long while, built all these beautiful houses, but then put a road in over there. And nothing. Seriously, nothing. You know, I guess they have other projects they need to concern themselves with. I feel for the people who bought those houses thinking they were going to have you know, it's going to be open, they can go both ways and they can get easily across the street. Yeah. They need a light right there. They seriously need a light right there. Anyway, it's not been a light there at all. It's over 20 years. Anyway, what was I talking about, man? Remember I said to lower my blood pressure? Yeah. But yesterday, just to, I haven't mentioned, today is, well, yesterday was the first day of summer. And yesterday I wound up going once again to the ER. But all of the times, one time I got choked on a pill. Oh my gosh, it was one of those, I call them horse pills. It was a vitamin, and I have to take it. It was, you know, by a doctor. My doctor prescribed for me. And I've been taking it for years. My doctor, you know, it's very important that it's you know, like a person's doctor. Because man, you can get really bad off. You just take vitamins without doctor prescribing them, or a healthcare professional prescribing them. I think I made my point. And anyway, I'm not going to name which one, and it got lodged sideways on the side of, like, I don't even know what you call it. But I had to go. They had to give me a mixture. That was one another time, and the other one I had an infection. So. But anyway, this time I was really worried. I was having those pains in my arm, you know, the pains in your arm, and it was a whole big old process of what happened that led up to it. And basically it's people who are incompetent, and something happened with my insulin. I called the pharmacist. The pharmacist says, blah, 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 I don't know, blah, 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 blah. That's how I see them. Not the usual one. I called the one, yeah. Anyway, I'll skip a bunch of this. Blah, 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 blah. You know, seriously. Let's pass the buck. Oh, you just ran out in front of somebody. Smart move. God. Did you see that? No, I guess not. But they ran out in front of somebody right there. It's a big truck with I guess, gardening supplies. It looks like it. Ran in front of another one that was gardening. Another one has a bed on there. I don't know what that one would be. This is why my videos wind up like this. You said, yeah, right, Grace. Okay, you've been doing this for like, what, 10 years? Anyway, almost. But anyway, I wound up in the hospital, you know, the ER, which this place is different. My insurance is a little bit different. And anyway, for the first time in 35 years, let me stress that. the first time in around 35 years that I've had hypertension, high blood pressure. I had it explained to me. All the times I've looked it up. I don't trust stuff like that online, but I would never have any reason to look up this certain other thing. I mean, I wouldn't have to know before I could even look it up. You see what I'm saying? And how would I know? But this doctor, he explained it to me, and I said, wow, of all these years, I've never had that explained to me. He says, why am I explaining it to you now? I said, yeah, that's great, thank you. 35 years. I'm 61. I've never had explained. I'm not going to explain it either because I'm not a healthcare provider. Anyway, but they did a good job. They said nothing's, they did an x-ray. They said my x-ray should come up clear. Nothing wrong with me there. And then they also did a EKG, I believe. What is an EEG? I don't remember. But I think they said EKG. And everything's fine. But my doctor's office called today, and we made a telemed to follow up next week, a week from now, a week from yesterday. So we'll see. But I'm seeing a different doctor, so we'll see what happens, how it all goes about. But the doctor, there, he said that they'll get it all figured out. So, but it was a bad situation with the insulin and all that. And then they said to go back to the pharmacy and tell the pharmacist. And I said, I'm going to just throw this stuff away. And I kept telling everybody I was talking to, including the pharmaceutical company, I said, look, I'm not worried about the money for the insulin. What I'm worried about is I want to know, is it going to harm me? I can't believe I had to say it so many times. They were always, all of them, concerned about money. No. I want to know, am I going to die? And by the time that I actually got any answer to this, because even at the hospital, all of them said they did not know. Okay, I'm not really that proud of our, our medical system here, all around, healthcare, all around. I'm not at all proud to say how it is here, because it's not, in my view, something to be proud of. When they play pass the buck and crickets, and and I have insurance. Remember last year I didn't, and oh my goodness, they wanted me to die, and they're not going to tell me anything. 3 times, man, I was just sick of it. I was going to come out here and lower my blood pressure. Maybe I should get to that. Okay, it's still a little bit later. I don't really expect to have any for about the first hour that I'm sitting out here, but this is becoming like a health update. I want to say something before I forget it. Besides that good news I had mentioned about they did the chest x-ray, all that, and the EKG and everything was fine. All that good stuff, that was good. But also one of the tests, the blood test, the doctor, I mean, she's not the doctor, she's a nurse practitioner, but she's really educated. Anyway, she had ordered, and the one of them had before then, and I'm like, I don't know, I think they do usually order it's for the kidneys. And this hospital, they tested for my kidneys, and also, and I didn't tell them any of that. They may have been able to tell online. There's so many ways now. They know what you've been and what you've done. Seriously, they do. I was amazed by it about a year ago or so. Oh, it was last summer maybe. Okay, y'all don't hit one another. But anyway, he told me, he said, your kidneys, I had not said anything about my kidneys, so he's telling me the results of all these tests. He says, and your kidneys are just fine. They're functioning, really well. So I said, what? Wait a minute, what? Because I told him the score on the blood test. I said I didn't really know which one it was, but he should have been able to tell. He said, yeah, that is high, and he's very high, rather high. He said, but no, this test shows the overall result. and that could have been this or that, that kind of thing. He said, and your kidneys are fine. That was such a relief, because I had actually changed my diet quite a lot, and I don't think my diet that has been changed quite a lot is working for me at all. In fact, I just tested my glucose, my blood pressure and glucose. Well, actually, I was looking to write it down on when I tested it once I got out here, and it's gone down. I tested it right after I got here. That's what I'm saying. I was mentioning, I think. And then I just now took my glucose. My glucose was high when I left, but it's down a bit because I took one of my medications before I left. And, but it's not down enough. And it's been out of control, both that and my blood pressure, which I'm finding out that it could be my blood pressure monitors. I have 6 of them. I think I have another one too that is a different way. This has been over years, and they're not all mine. Adam and I both have monitors, and these are over years. And every time you turn around, they say, "Well, get this newer one. That one doesn't work right." Whatever, But none of them ever. Not ever have I had all of them consistently. And it's also glucometers. All of them consistently say anywhere near one another. Well, that's not exactly true. I think one time. But anyway, I think there's, what else would it be? It has to be associated with the diet that I think that's my neighbor. No, it's not my neighbor. She's too much young. too much young. Okay, she's a lot younger, but than my neighbor. Anyway, like I said, I don't think I'm going to get any offers right away. I might not get any, because it's so saturated nowadays. And I'm doing these food delivery orders. I'm doing this food delivery gig work because of my I live in Texas. Oh, someone up there. But in order to get affordable health care, I have to go through all this of saying that I can earn a certain amount. And the problem that I had was the swelling, and it's called edema in my legs, but my whole body swells. And my legs don't look like they do when I look online. They show these big legs, and mine never did look like that. They just look like, it is edema. That's been confirmed. Mine were never that bad. Always had skin, fit legs. They were they were fit. They weren't huge. To each, if somebody else has it, I'm not judging. I don't judge on that at all. And I'm not saying mine are perfect or yours are perfect or any of that. So anyway, but I'm gonna move from here. I like it here, except that on this Friday, they might try to send me out to an area that's bad. It's kind of busy right now. 6:24. Well, it is Friday. Or is it Friday? Oh my goodness, the days are just getting all mixed up. No, I didn't. No, I knew it was Friday. But I'm just not thinking that people were working today. Adam had a half day today. So that always messes me up when he just, doesn't have to work a day or something, It's a holiday. I don't work besides doing this gig work, these food delivery things. And, but overall, like I was saying, it's so saturated in this area because of that anybody 18 years old or older that gets off for summer, like the students at college, university, the teachers, the other educators, people who want to make a little extra money, and it is legal for them to work, like 18 years old and older, and they are legally. That's everybody's job that fits that thing, I don't know, unless it's not, so for some other reason, but so I can't say anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, except that it's just saturated with people working, and I hardly get any offers at all. And when I do, quite often they are bad ones. really bad ones. They're wanting you to work in the negative. Not only free, but in the negative. You're spending your money. Too much of that. And it's been like that since around the time that the college and university students got out for summer. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go to the ladies' room over there, and then I'm going to go move to a different spot and see how it works. Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace. And in this video, I want to talk about manners. And when people they seem entitled. Yeah, you know, kind of, I don't know, just they seem entitled and they lack manners. Oh, really? And I'll tell you, I drove to this parking lot, and it's at a restaurant. I'm not going to name which one. I was going to go in, use the ladies' room. And there was a guy, and I am Texan, this is Texas, and I do know what I consider as a Bubba truck. Okay, they're not the old ones as they used to define them. And they're usually really new and really big. And I'd say in this area they are very expensive. This is I'm going to put it that way, one of the wealthiest counties in Texas. It's actually number 2, but it depends on how somebody wants it rated. It could be number 1. So, and the Bubba trucks, they look like that. They really pay attention. A lot of work goes into how their Bubba trucks look. Some of them don't. But anyway, it's what I call a dumb Bubba. It's one who thinks they're in their truck and they think that they own the road, okay? And a lot of people think that they own the road. I'm well aware of it. But not everybody. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. But the ones that tailgates or they take more than their fair share of the road, you know, they take over their lane. Some of them will do things like park. When they park, they take their half out of the middle, in other words, like 2 spaces, you know, on and on. But why this is on my mind is because I went to park at that place, and there was a guy in front of me. I mean, he was already parked by the time I turned down that lane, but then he started to back up, and so I honked at him. But just as I was passing behind him, I don't know if he has, you know, one of those things, whatever they call that thing that, you know, shows you when you back up. So I honked so he wouldn't hit me. And we have an accident, have to go through all that stuff. You know, he back into me. So tell him, hey, dude, I'm here. You know, and it was a busy place. So, hey, man, I'm here. And earlier today, had the same kind of thing. But the guy actually thought that I was supposed to stop for him. So he decided he was going to weirdly back up. Seriously. Now that one, the one that earlier today, that would have been a dumb Bubba. He was gonna back up in the parking spots when I'm right behind him and maneuver his way somehow. Maybe he thought he was gonna get in front of me to turn. Seriously. Dumb Bubba. Now that would be dumb Bubba. And then the one that tailgate. Anybody who tailgates, dumb Bubba, that it's very dangerous, especially for you, not you, but the person who's doing it. In my view, I'm not a traffic expert or anything like that. So my degrees are in psychology and sociology. So. And anyway, but to do that earlier today, now this one, he didn't do anything. He didn't try to continue backing up into me, you know, nothing like that. And anyway, I went into the restaurant, and I saw this guy that from, you know, just a few minutes ago. I saw him, and I went, yep, Bubba. And I know I'm you know, like I said, this is my definition of Bubba. I'm not using anybody else's, but in my mind, how I see a Bubba. And yep, definitely Bubba. It was his appearance and the way he dressed, what he wore, his more than that. Okay. Yep, a Bubba, but not a dumb Bubba. He did not seem like a dumb Bubba. You know, a dumb Bubba, like I said, would be like the one earlier that try to back up anyway, although he didn't have the right of way. You know, wow. Anyway, luckily the person in front of me turned, so it was my turn to turn. It was not at a light. There was no light there. That was earlier. But anyway, so I went in, you know, and all that. But as I was, and I've noticed this quite a bit, is apparently, and I think it's true, I think kids are no longer allowed to be taught manners in school, and maybe it wasn't just recently. But that seems like it depends on the school district and whatever. But I used to do, some call it visiting teacher. I taught at college and university, and some call it just what it is, substitute teaching. I don't mind the title. Just don't call me that sub. You know what I'm saying? People use that very sarcastically, like they're nothing. Because they know that these people have to be degreed in some school districts, not all. I have a master's, so. But the ignorance, I'm telling you. But anyway, I'm going to park here. This way, underneath the tree. Look, that's the tree kind of ends right there. I'm going to go up here and park. Not too close to the other person, so I'm not one of those herd mentality people. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, I moved. I think I was talking about this, this with the manners. Now, I know probably every generation has said this, and every older generation gets said, you know, told, oh, they're just being old-fashioned or whatever. Do you think it's not going to happen to you? Whatever generation you're in, do you think it's not going to happen to you? You know, or maybe you're there are people older than I. But to be told, you know, you're old school and all this, and it doesn't fit the day. But manners seems to have never been really changed much. That you don't do certain things to people. And what I saw in that, you know, that restaurant is I see at many restaurants, if there are, see, I don't usually talk about kids, so I'm not going to say if it's kids or not, but, you know, people who will walk out in front of you. Like you're walking in the door, and then they just, you're walking to the counter, and they just come run, you know, wherever they are, just walk in front of you like they're sitting down, and they're right there where you're walking through the, you know, the place where you walk through. And they jump up and, you know, right in front of you. Whoa, or you're going out the door, you're headed toward the door, and they open from the other side real fast, and you know, nearly plow you down. Or how about, what was the one that happened? One guy was on the other side. I had my orders, it was quite a bit in my hand, and I was about to open this particular order because the other one was shut. And a guy came from the other way, and he opened it. And so I went ahead and went through because, you know, it's kind of, you know, customary for, you know, if you see anybody, if it's a woman sees another woman carrying stuff and she's about to go through the door. You know, anybody who's whatever has something in their hands, or children or whatever. And for men usually to open the door. So I went ahead and went through because I had all this stuff in my hand, and he decided to come through at the same time. Like I needed to move over for him, and I didn't. I don't do that crap. I don't mind people. But anyway, he said, I didn't open the door for you. And he was on his phone also. So he had paused. I was about to, you know, go to like on my side and push it open. So he opened it, you know. And I told Adam, and there was more to that, but he said, man, you know, this was, I don't know how many months ago, but he was like, whoa, you know, he was kind of ticked off at, you know, men who do that and that kind of thing. You know, I say anybody. If you see somebody, like somebody walking through, like the post office, there's a post office, it used to be over here, I think. but they walk in with the post office, a bunch of packages in their hand, and they're going to the post office inside. You open the door for them. I mean, I don't know why people have such a hard time with that concept of helping some stranger out at a post office or at a store, and not being rude and walk in front of them and not being say, hey, I'm first. Entitled much? You see, and some people want to put it off on the person who, like me, the guy said, I didn't open the door for you. What the crap, Rude, very, very rude. But some people would say it was me, because that's how some things seem to be changing, really. And I've seen things happen to other people, so it's not just me. I'm well aware it's not just me. But they do. I've seen people, it's like, the whole thing I've made videos about. I think many of us who were raised in, they attended schools in the United States. I cannot imagine any of them who weren't not taught to stand in line and wait your turn. You see? So that of standing in line and you wait your turn is not just literally stand in line and wait your turn. It can mean a lot of things, like when people are speaking, once they finish, that's when you start. It's not that you are more important, so you cut them off. Unless it's an emergency or something along that line, that's a different story. If you're just having a conversation, to cut them off and you think that you're more important, and that's a lot of this. It's not a one size fits all, but a lot of it is that some people think they're more important than other people. And I think that, and I'm not picking on any age group, it can be any age. As things change, and as, what you see on TV or you see on videos, or what you see in it, in other people around you, what influences your way of seeing things. This is, what's happening now and what people do. Some people will just follow, some lead, some follow, some say, you're screwed. You're screwy. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to listen to that crap. There's so many things, different ways people respond, but some people say, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can be all self-centered, and, some say narcissistic. I can be all toxic. Hey, if that's what it is these days. But really, I'm quite, tired of that. This, this way so many people are so self-centered. I'm not saying I'm perfect with it. I am not at all. I'm sure something, every blue moon, I don't even know if it would be that much, that some people might think that I am. I don't know of anything that I do. I honestly don't. I really am a considerate person. I think about others, and I was really taught to stand in line and you wait your turn. I don't want anybody doing that to me, so I don't do it to anybody else. But I'm not a perfect being. But these are often people I have learned. People I actually know who think like that, they usually are, they don't think they're wrong, for one. But who do that it's about them. Sorry, something happened right behind me. I kind of got, like just a second there. Let me see. Hey everybody. In this video, I just want to talk about a few things. Well, about people who, I don't know, the people who work in customer service over the phone, whatever you're going to call it, reps and everything. Because lately I have been having to call places, and this is nothing new to me. You call a business to find out some information. Nothing new to me at all. To run across people who don't know their jobs. And on top of that, they seem to enjoy being rude and irritating. And now a lot of them seem to be working from home, and they don't realize, having people in the background talking or children. People in the background talking, they can say, well, we're in this big office and everything. But when it's children screaming, birds chirping, somebody has a bird in a cage chirping, yeah, that's a big difference, and you can't hear them, and they try to blame it on you. You wasted all this time going through their automated system. It is so irritating. And then they wind up hanging up on you because they say, you say, I can't hear you, and they will talk really low, and they expect you to understand it. And you say, look, and then they'll fix it and make all this noise, and then it goes down again. I mean, I can go on and on, just the little irritating things that happen like that. Like one of them, that's Thursday, today is Wednesday, June 26, 2024. But the guy had, obviously he was working from home, and one of his smoke detectors battery was gone out or whatever, and it was chirp. I mean, how many of us have heard that smoke detector sound? Yeah. And it kept doing it. He says, well, I don't hear anything. He was a real jerk from the beginning. I mean, seriously, called this place. It was a pharmaceutical company, by the way. I was told to call it by the pharmacist. Just FYI. From what I understand, it should be the pharmacist calling. Okay, you need to stop over there. You don't have that right. It should be the pharmaceutical company calling. I mean, the pharmacist calling the pharmaceuticals, because they're not going to tell an individual, this one, anything. And they're including not telling them that they're not going to tell you anything. You see. And they'll just play a real long game with you. Somebody first call is, they answer and hang up. Okay, it's supposed to be a dedicated line for that purpose only, to help with maybe something's wrong with their product. Okay, complaints about a product. It's emergency help. No such thing. So, this is kind of, I started and just kept rolling as usual. Anyway, and then the second call, it's the guy with the chirping sound, and he's really rude. And then the next one is someone who says, oh, I'm so sorry, and she plays the long game, yeah. And that includes, let me put you on hold. Okay, and no, I'm not talking about the food delivery one that always has to put somebody on hold. And then when they come back, they don't know who you are. Okay, what are you doing? Hello. Look at that. Can you see that? How far that is? That person's just sitting there texting. Oh, you're going to hit all these too? Yep. Ooh, this is not good right here. But anyway. Okay, then you can figure out this is what happened to me. Or I already said that last Thursday. And the whole thing was, it was an insulin bottle, and the top, not the cap. But yeah, no, she's texting, driving, and listening to her headphones all the same. Probably, maybe not texting. Maybe she's watching videos in her lap. Yeah, scary, huh? Anyway, but this is what happened to me, and it was an emergency, and it's a pretty bad emergency, really, because as that first one said, it could have been that I said what, the bottle was contaminated, and I already used it, and yeah, that's a good word for it, contaminated. I'm not going to finish this one. It's just so frustrating what all happened all around. So